Lacey Starlord, aka Awesome. Welcome back to my channel. And this is a review on A Complete Unknown, which is a movie with with hold on. A Complete Unknown. Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan, and then you have Edward Norton as Pete Seeger, and then you have another guy playing Johnny Cash, I don't know who he is, and then you have his girlfriend Sylvie, and then a whole bunch of other different artists from this time period in here. But it's basically about Bob Dylan's life, and he was kind of a rebel, kind of he kind of rebel, kind of little emo child of the folk music slash rock and roll. He changed the way people see folk music and the way people saw rock and roll and rock and folk music mixed together. He was just all around artist that wanted to change himself and change the image from what he was from when he first started as a folk music singer, and like Pete Seeger, that person he met in the very beginning, enjoyed his music and saw an uprising and coming of like a new young talent, and then eventually, as all artists, when they're sitting in something that works and having them sing covers like Elvis did. Eventually, they want to write their own songs and they branch out to rock and roll. That's exactly what he did. And what I mean by he's emo, he's a little like dark inside. Like the way he, not dark, like, well, he's dark inside a little bit, but the way he presents himself, the way he wears his clothes and stuff like that, he didn't really care about other things, and he's a trendsetter on his own. Kind of like a loner of his own. He's like kind of like a little bit of a loner. And his folk music's great, and his rock and roll is great. I still need to get the soundtrack for this, and also when I just finished doing the Lord of the Rings one, I need to get the soundtrack for that. Um, this movie is just awesome. Timothy Chalamet looks like Bob Dylan, sounds like Bob Dylan, and you would believe it's Bob Dylan. Um, his relationship with Joan and Josie was kind of back and forth kind of thing. He had two girls in his life, and you know, at two different times because one was a singer and one wasn't. One was an artist. It's artist and stuff like that. And it's just on top of that, his life of being a singer and stuff. He just did his own thing. He did his own little. He went his own little path, and he trailblazed his own little path, and it was great. Also, didn't know much about Bob Dylan when I saw this movie, so I learned a lot about him and his music and how he presents himself in that music and how he wants to make himself sound and make him how he makes him want how he wants to do things and how he makes him motivates himself to do certain things. Everyone that met him loved his music, loved him, and he's just who he is. But he did change the genre of folk music and rock and roll and folk and rock and roll mixed together. And folk music, I don't hear too much today, but if there was, I don't know how long Bill Dylan lived, I didn't say, but I'm pretty sure he's not around anymore. But if Bob Dylan was around, I'm pretty sure he would change the way we listen to music today too. It's just like other artists like Post Malone went from pop to rap to country. MGK went from rap to punk rock to a little bit of country. Um, Hootie and the other Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish doing pop music to country. And there's a lot of artists. Even same thing with Taylor Swift. There's a lot of them. So Bob Dylan wasn't the only one that has done that, but I think Bob Dylan was the original. Um, I mean, you also have trailblazers like Eminem and Elvis doing the same thing like black music. and making it popular. But you get my point. All these people did something to change their way of they doing things, and same thing with Bob Dylan. He did the same thing. So I highly recommend checking this film out. This movie's getting a couple of award nominees, and I can see why. Timothy Chalamet sounds just like Bob Dylan. Looks like him, sounds like him, and then the acting and singing in here is just phenomenal. So they're gonna win on that. He might even win for um Dune 2 also. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. And if you like this video, put a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and deuces.